All right, we are live Facebook and YouTube. Guys, if you're watching this is the behind the scenes of the Smoke Ring Syndicate. So you get to see any outtakes, and if we stumble or fail to remember our own names, I got Ray Carnes with me this week. Uh, we're gonna chat some barbecue and about the Recteq grills. You can you hear me good, Ray?
I hear you perfectly, man.
Perfect, man. Well, let's hit the intro and we'll get right into it. What's up, guys? Wes, the People's Pitmaster, back again for another episode of the Smoke Ring Syndicate. It's my weekly barbecue podcast that drops every Wednesday at 5:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. This week, we're headed out to Augusta to chat with Ray Carnes, owner of Recteq Grills. Ray, are you there?
I'm here, man. How are you doing?
Man, doing well, doing well. Just getting back into the swing of things. Took a couple of weeks. Did a couple of back-to-back recordings to where I was able to take a couple of weeks off of sitting down here in the studio doing the show, and I'm glad to kind of be back. So Ray Carnes, owner of Recteq Grills. Ray, talk to me about what kind of got you interested into barbecue, like what got you cooking, and what kind of transition into what got you cooking and deciding to cook on your own cooker.
Sure. I've always been a passionate griller. Even when we were kids and we had little get-togethers, I was always the go-to grill guy. I just was passionate about it. And through the years, I always had this idea of making the ultimate barbecue grill. I always owned a nice barbecue grill, and of course, as I got older, they got nicer and nicer. And then I found this technology from a competitor that existed. I really liked it. I saw some things that could be better that I thought needed improvement. And so I had this idea kicking around for years and years. And fast forward, I owned a car lot. And in 2009, I went from being I just had a small little car lot. It was called Look and Call Auto Sales. Basically people would look and the description of the car was on the window and they would call me if they're interested. So it's kind of a one-man show, but I had a ball doing that. But in '09, you couldn't get anybody to crack the door on a car. I mean, things just went terrible, So it was like the faucet turning off. So I was sitting there depressed on the couch one day, and I saw the writing on the wall that I was failing, and I was like, what do I have to lose at this right now? If I'm ever going to do this crazy idea of making a barbecue grill, the time is today. And so that was it. That was kind of the start of this journey to make the ultimate backyard grill and create a brand. And so I told my wife I was making a grill, and she said, "That's nice, honey." She probably thought it was another one of my harebrained schemes, but she was on board, and I went down the path of designing and manufacturing a barbecue grill with, I hired some engineers and things like that to help me in my design, but I had a concept in my idea in my head, and it turned out everything came together nicely, and Recteq was born.
Yeah. So when you were talking about, you had kind of had an idea that you were going to that you wanted to own a barbecue grill. When you first started dreaming of that, was pellet cooking even a thing, or had that just started, or were you trying, and were you in your head building a charcoal grill before, and seeing the new technology and going, wow, this really could be done better, and you just switched over to the pellets? Or walk me through where you were and how you got to the pellet.
Sure. Originally when I was a young teenager, it was gassers, and then I evolved into charcoal, and then pellets. And so this was when, I don't know if you mind me saying their name, but I don't mind saying it. But the competitor was Traeger, and I had a Traeger, and when they were brand new, and that was when I just decided that I really thought this was a cool technology, and that's when that idea started kicking around my head. It's just funny, the car lot, when things, you're sitting around depressed and thinking that like this is a terrible thing, it ends up being the best thing that's ever happened to you, was that economy crashing in '09. So it's just interesting how things work out that something that you thought was so bad could ultimately be, the best thing that's ever happened in your life, with
Yeah.
the exception of your family, of course.
Yeah. Well, and it's interesting that you kind of you were in a part of at a point of, I guess you could call it failure due to, the economy, the world, the entire uh, car industry going to crap, as long as which everything did in '08 and '09. And failure wasn't fatal, didn't kill you, and you just kind of made a pivot. And I mean, look what's, come from the failure of the car lot.
That's right. Those little car lots didn't stand a chance when that happened. I was just a little guy, and so it's just it's just funny how life works out. So it's been a real blessing and a real fun journey to bring Recteq to nearly a household name. There's not anywhere I travel that I don't bump into somebody that's aware of Recteq and even recognizes me, which blows my mind that people recognize the guy that manufactured it and started it. But it's been a really enjoyable, like I said, fun journey, and I wouldn't trade it for the world.
Yeah. So you guys started out when you started building a Recteq. You started with one grill, one concept idea, and that was I guess the 680 or the 700 or the Bull, or that was the original flagship, I guess you could call it.
The original was the 680, correct. We didn't have enough money to do different sizes or different SKUs, so we just kind of picked that sweet spot of what people wanted sitting on their back porch, and that was the 680, which ultimately has evolved now into the new flagship. I know we're going to speak about that in a moment, about the new products,
Yeah.
but yes, the 680 was our first.
Yeah. So when it comes to, you guys were just building one cooker, and it was a good size, really good size cooker. And whenever you guys started branching out and doing multiple sizes, I think that's when I was kind of really introduced to you guys, is when you guys were releasing I think it was the Bullseye, when you guys released those at the Lady A, at the Lady A Park, when you guys did the first, was it Recteq Fest?
Recteq
Or was it
Academy was there. The
Recteq
first Recteq
Academy? I
Academy.
think is what it was called in 17.
Oh goodness, man! I don't know the year. I'm terrible with dates like that.
I think it was 17.
That sounds about right.
When we did that, and I think that was kind of when I was introduced to a Recteq grill, and kind of when I was made a believer. I've got a Bullseye and a 680, original 680, out on the patio now, and uh, I can't say that I'm not tempted to go and tiptoe into the new cookers.
Yeah, we've come
So
a long way since that original 680, and though, what is a testament to its build quality is a ton, and I imagine most of them are still out there smoking. I've seen some that aren't too pretty. I got to be honest; they
yeah,
they look like they've been put to work, and that's what they're for. But they're
yeah.
still kicking, and that's the good news.
Well, and I actually, when I got mine, it still had the red display. It was before the Wi-Fi and all that stuff. And as you guys have evolved, I've bought parts here and there and have upgraded my cooker. But I still see, every once in a while, you'll see one on Facebook Marketplace that it's still got the red display with the red lid. And I, the red lid is what I really wanted, just because it was so much, so different. And now it's like, I mean, I don't you probably can't get a red lid now. You guys have probably just about extinguished all that. Yeah.
Yeah, the red lid was a difficult color, and the best lid we ever made was a porcelain lid, red. And as the colors get brighter with powder coating on the lid, it gets really more expensive.
Hmm.
And they have they are not as tough as a dark color. And I don't know the dynamics of why that is or anything, but We had a porcelain lid for a while. The problem with that is when you pour that porcelain on, that's similar to like what you would have on your washer or dryer. It goes on molten, and it was warping the top of the lid a little bit, and people were just going nutty about their new grill having a little bit of a wave in the top of the lid. So
Yeah.
unfortunately, the best lid we had to discontinue, but we have it dialed in now. The black powder coated lids are bulletproof, and they look really nice on the all stainless steel cookers. So I miss that red too, and, especially being a Bulldogs fan. So I kind of miss that red.
Full disclosure, I'm not a Bulldogs fan. Please don't judge me, guys.
No, it's okay.
No, I can get behind the red and black. I mean, I'm in red and black today, right?
There you go.
Um, so you guys were building one cooker, and you guys eventually started building multiple cookers, and it came from an idea in your head, and now it's turned into, I mean, just about a household name. People say, "Oh, I've got a pellet cooker," and it's either, "Oh, is it a Recteq or is it a Traeger?" It's
Mhm.
like one or the other. And then there's obviously other people that out there that do it too. Um, I think what makes you guys so unique is your brand, your the Recteq brand, the Recteq lifestyle. Um, your your fans do. I feel like they do a lot of advertising and a lot of they probably contribute a lot to the growth of Recteq. Would you agree?
100%. I say it all the time. We have the best fans in the world, but I also say that there's no chance that we would be anywhere close to the company we are without the help of our fans. They've been so incredibly supportive. They really appreciate the customer service, that old school customer service, as we
Yeah.
call it, and the effort we put in to listen to them and answer and evolve as a product to concerns that they may have. So the product is constantly getting better, with the addition of Wi-Fi and things like that the customer speaks and we listen. Every grill owner gets my personal cell phone number. So that really resonated with people as far as that old school customer service. And so, again, the fans, and like this video, I plan on sharing it with them. They'll share it and watch it. The fans have just been tremendous, and I've become like personal friends with a ton of new people because of this product and the following that we have.
Yeah. Well, and it was kind of interesting for me to see because that's kind of what introduced me to Recteq was, folks talking about it on the internet, and eventually I'm like, oh, well, this is literally like 2 hours up the street, you know. And I think Ernest Cefantes, I don't know if he still does work for you guys or not, but he was actually the one that kind of introduced me to you and was like, yeah, come on out, come hang out with me. I'm in Georgia, don't get to hang out in Georgia very often, and so I came out and hung out and was hooked. But what we were talking about, some of the online presence that makes the Recteq grills fan, I think, more of a diehard fan than other cookers is just the way that you guys behave. And this is not a paid promotion by any stretch, but just seeing what you guys do. Like I've got two examples. The gentleman, last name Wood, and you may or may not remember this.
Oh,
Um,
Marcus.
Marcus, yes. The grill that you guys, I guess I don't recall all the stories. I know he had lost
Yeah.
his son,
I could tell you
and
that story, very quick version of it. I get
okay,
emotional occasionally when I tell that story, but I was on a barbecue forum reading a barbecue forum. It had nothing to do with Recteq,
hmm
and this person wrote a story that he didn't know if he would ever barbecue again because he did that with his son, and he felt like if he did it again, that was their kind of thing, their hobby, and he
yeah,
thinks it's not never going to be the same without his boy. And ironically, he's a firefighter, and his son was a firefighter, and he lost his son in a house fire. And
hmm
sad part about that is he said he knows he saw his boy in the yard, and he said, "I saw him outside. I know I did." And and they believe he went back in for the family dog, and sadly he didn't make it. And I just read this story, and he shared a newspaper article about the story in that particular forum. And I reached out to that guy, and this wasn't, and he's given me permission to tell the story. I did not do this for pub. I didn't, and he months later said, "Hey, I'd like for you to share the story," because I just feel like that would be cheesy to share. So, but he gave me permission and asked me to share this, and he runs a Recteq, his own Recteq page called Recteq Owners of Illinois now. But anyhow, I reached out to him and said, "Man, I'd like to send you a cooker, and your son would want you to continue to barbecue, and I bet you'll feel closer to him if you did." And I got some grates custom made, and one was a firefighter, and the other one grate was a something about firefighting. Maybe I can't recall what was on the grate, but the one side of the grate was a firefighter's helmet with his son's number on the helmet. So I had custom made grates to him and sent him the whole everything we had. It was called the kitchen sink bundle at the time. And so anyhow, he's now passionate again about grilling, and he built me a custom made bench made with fire hose rope or hose as the web seat. So that's just one of the stories of how I never thought we could, touch people and they could touch me selling barbecue grills, but we really have, and they have me. So it's been really fun. There's a lot of stories I have like that.
Yeah, well, like I said, that one, and if I recall correctly, I'm sure it was posted in multiple places, but I know it was in one of my barbecue groups, and that was one of the introductions that led me to, getting a Recteq myself. I had already had my Recteq and had a friend of mine, and he had bought an old like parted out type cooker, and it was an old pellet cooker, but it was not your brand cooker. And we
I
were
remember this
talking.
story.
He and I were talking, and I was like, man, I said, you probably could just buy parts if you figure out what kind of brand cooker this is. And he had posted, trying to get some help, trying to figure out what kind of a cooker it was so that he could find, see if he could find if they made parts or not. And the short version of the story is you had jumped on and were like, yeah, just shoot me your address. I'll send you all the parts. And he ended up getting the parts and building the cooker, and we affectionately named it the Recteq, WRECKED, and he cooked on it for years and years, and 2 or 3 years ago, he had called me. He's like, man, he said my parts are still good, but this cooker is disintegrating, and I don't remember if he went down by himself or he had it shipped, but he had went and got himself a 590, and he joined the Recteq ranks officially.
Yeah,
A
I would have
couple
been
of years
upset
ago.
I would have been really upset if he didn't get get a Recteq when he was ready.
Yeah,
No, but I remember I helped the guy. People were saying, "You're crazy. You're helping a guy who doesn't even have a Recteq." I said, "You know what? That stuff pays back." And the fact that you're here talking about it now, I remember that years ago, and I don't remember the guy. I didn't even know he's friends with you, but I remember sending that guy parts and getting a grill that they were no longer in business even, but getting his grill back up and running for him. So that was fun, and it pays dividends to do the right thing even when nobody's
oh,
looking. You know what I mean?
no, 100%, and then Luke is the guy's name, and he's a raving fan, and it's because number one, you didn't have to do it, and then number two, you put up a damn good product. I mean, why not, right?
Well, thank you.
So we're building grills, going along. We're into 2022. We've built some new grills, and I'm guessing with the new launch of stuff. When did you guys start looking at releasing new models again? And I guess when did you look at um, trying to evolve the technology into what you guys recently released?
Well, sure. So ultimately, just a little bit about Recteq for the folks that don't know is, we wanted to make a grill and a smoker, whereas the competition, they all are smokers. They can kind of sort of grill, not really, because they max out a certain temperature. The first thing we did is we addressed the problems with the components inside and made them all the critical components that take the massive amount of abuse. We made 304 stainless steel. That way we could really dial this thing and ratchet up the and flirt with these high temperatures. So we have grills that get to 700 degrees and the bullseye that gets to 1,000 degrees. So our grill is not only a fantastic smoker, but it can actually, for real grill. So we always say it can bake, smoke, sear, grill, and even dehydrate. So we started with the interior of the grill, whereas I know everybody's experienced this, particularly when they're younger. You go out into the store and you see a fancy grill that looks beautiful on the outside, but in a year, the inside rusts out, on gassers particularly. So we really paid up for the components inside that took abuse. We didn't want one to just look good. We wanted to operate for many years and for it to last, like we spoke about a minute ago with the 680 still working. And then from there, if you look at our grills and the evolution of them, they kind of tell a story. We had that one size, then we went to a small one, then we went to a large one. So we had small, medium, and large. And now we just kind of listened to our customers, and we went down and answered all the things. They wanted one that could travel, one for apartments and condos for a back porch, and one that was medium size for a smaller family, one that is the flagship that can kind of cover a large family, 6 or 8, and then the BFG that's great for a caterer or professionals or people that cook for a lot of events. So we kind of just basically wanted to make them distinct differently enough where you knew which grill you needed for what type of cooker you were. So we added these to the lineup. We were following some of the leads of competitors as far as the Wi-Fi. I have to be honest, the Wi-Fi is really cool. I thought that I was totally against putting Wi-Fi on the grill. I've since come around. I was just, I have people call me before and want to know what internal temperature to cook a hot dog to. And so I was thinking, I get that phone call. The last thing I need is a phone call on how to hook up to my Wi-Fi. I'm not very technically good at IT. So it was, I thought that, but, we kind of went along with the competition there and produced a really app that we're proud of. And it really is convenient that you can turn your grill on, off, up or down from your phone. And then we just made the new sizes. We started off with the Road Warrior recently, its launch, and it's just a smaller version with collapsible legs, which is really nice for that tailgater or an RVer. The legs, to make it easy to picture in your mind's eye, they collapse like a ironing board, an old school iron board. You pull a lever and they just exactly, they collapse like that. So you can use that grill with the legs collapsed, which a lot of people do on their tailgate or on the drawer of an RV. When it pulls out, it can sit on that drawer and you don't even have to worry about extending the legs. And then also you have the option of extending the legs and putting wherever you like. And then we also did the more, I call it like a condominium apartment size smoker, which is the Patio Legend. It's just a step up from that Road Warrior size. It's 410 cooking square inches, and it's for somebody that might live in a high rise and things like that. A lot of times grills are not allowed with the homeowners association in high rise apartments, but because it has the cord on it, they're able to get it through the HOA and approved, which I don't know, that's a little bit shady, but hey, teach his own.
Barbecue's important.
Yeah, exactly. And then and then we have the Backyard Beast, which that grill we kind of made with Ace Hardware in mind. We wanted them to have something exclusive for them. And Ace Hardware, we just recently partnered with them. We think that's a good fit for us because we have no interest in going into all the big box stores and things like that. We wanted somebody that was going to extend that customer service, and because they're independently owned and local companies, we felt like they were a really good fit. And so that's that Backyard Beast. Let's see. And then we have the Dual Fire. which is really neat, is you've got your traditional type pellet cooker on one side, which you guys are all familiar with probably, that with bake smoke, sear, grill, dehydrate. But you have a direct fire on the side. It's the world's first dual hopper, dual cooker. It's a pricey grill. I think it's retails for $17.99 if I remember correctly. I'm close, but it's really two grills, so you can. Let's say you're smoking something on one side, you could cook steaks or burgers on the other side while you're smoking overnight for the following day, or you can smoke, you do a reverse sear on a ribeye where you smoke on one side and sear on the other side. There's the options are endless on that. And then our flagship has evolved to where we put more headroom in there, a second shelf, the Wi-Fi. We beefed up our casters tremendously. Our casters hold for 99% of the people. You wouldn't know that if you read online, because 99% of the people never move their grill. But there is that percent that roll their grill constantly over sidewalks and cracks in sidewalks or out in the yard. And those casters were taking a beating and, weekly abuse, and they were failing on occasion. We have a superior warranty and we're covering it, but we've now beefed those up to bolt-on casters. And then I guess lastly, I want to talk about the most revolutionary thing we recently did is the smoke stone.
Yeah,
and,
well, that was kind of what got me interested in trying to corral you into coming to hang out with me and chat here, just because I'm like, I don't, it just kind of blows my mind a little bit. I'm like, I understand the concept, but like, well, I guess I understand the concept now, but like, how did that come about? Like, what was the thought process with that?
So, as you know, that Blackstone's been wildly popular and successful. And so people were asking us to make a pellet powered griddle. But for me, I didn't want it to just be pellet powered and gimmicky, because propane does a tremendous job heating up a cooking surface. So I'm like, if we're bringing pellets into the mix here, it needs to bring another dynamic to the cook. So you can do some different things, some versatility, and add some flavor. I don't want to just say it's pellet powered just for the heat and it's just pellets, just as just to be able to say it. So I have to be honest with you. We went back to the drawing board on probably 6 prototypes. Just right back, just trashed it. I said, I wouldn't buy that. We're not doing it. And it's been a long, many-year process, and we finally got that thing dialed in. 1, it gets extremely hot, so you can do everything. 2, it's PID controlled, just like the other grills, so you can set it at a temperature and it holds very precisely. But 3, it's got a 360-degree exhaust of the pellets that have a smoke that kind of wisps across the cooking surface, and it's got a lid that can shut and actually add some flavor. And it's subtle hints of smoke. You know how a bartender will add smoke to a drink and it takes 30 seconds to add a little hint of smoke. Well, this is very similar concept. If you're doing a sandwich or something like that, you could take a sandwich, put the cheese on, shut that lid, and add some real flavor to that sandwich and take it to another level. So you've got a computer-controlled temperature control versus constantly fiddling with the knob. You've got the wood flavor, and it's built like an absolute tank. That's a little pricey as well for what, but it's got a 6-year warranty, built like a tank, and it's going to be something that lasts you for quite some time. The griddle itself weighs 36 pounds just by itself. So it's a heavy duty cooker.
Yeah. So was this an adaptation from, because I know you guys had released, I have one of the griddle plates that you had to season up to get it to be non-stick. Is that an evolution of, was that a, let's try it to see if it's even possible before we start trying to design this new cooker?
Sure. Good question. Yeah, good question. So the griddle inserts, they work great, but they're not designed specifically with that type of cooking in mind. So although you can get the job done, it's a process to heat it up and it takes a while. With this, it's designed specifically for flat top type cooking. So
Hmm.
you're going to get, and the cook surface doesn't, it's pre-seasoned, by the way, which is nice. So you can start cooking that immediately. But
Yeah.
it's it's it comes designed to cook at very high temperatures. I think at 18 minutes you're at high 650 degrees. I timed it one time. So if you're cooking a medium, for a grilled cheese, let's say you're going to go probably
Hmm.
medium. You're talking the thing's up to temp in 11 minutes, and you can cook with the lid open or shut, either way.
Hmm.
So it was kind of there that we saw a proof of concept for those griddles that you purchased, but
Yeah.
with this, it's a much better design because it was designed from the ground up with this in mind, with this type of cooking. It wasn't an afterthought.
Yeah. Well, and I was kind of like, whenever it was released, I was like, man, I said, I wonder if this was like a prototype. They were just kind of testing it out to see if it was even possible. Obviously, you're putting it out, it's possible, but you're gauging interest too. I'm sure with doing it that way. Um, you guys have gotten you've grown from the little spot in Augusta to quite the square footage or acreage, I guess you could call it, there with the new spot. You guys are hosting your own events in you're essentially in your own park, right?
Sure. A lot of people say when they get there, they say it reminds them of Disneyland, and that's the feel we're going for. I always say it's like Wally World for grills, but it's we've got a skywalk into the entrance. We have 80
Hmm.
acres. We keep the grounds pristine. We have disc golf there. We've hosted drive-in movies there. We also have the Recteq Fest there. We do 7 academies there a year. It's a 600,000 square foot building. We also have 40, 50,000 square feet in Lehigh, Utah.
Hmm.
And then we have our corporate headquarters, which is located in Atlanta. But yeah, we've really grown our footprint. The Lehigh, Utah location was to help with those West Coast shipments.
Hmm.
As second, I apologize. I had a call come in, but
That's
those
fine.
the West it helped with those West Coast shipments as far as getting there with less touches, and so you're going to have
Hmm.
less problems with damage. Because we're shipping out there, and that was the main goal. We're like, why not put a showroom there so people can kind of come by and kick the tires that weren't otherwise able to. And that's also
Yeah.
what's been great with is going to be great. I apologize with Ace Hardware. Some people just won't make an investment unless they touch and feel it, and I get that,
Yeah.
especially when you're talking, in north of $500 and more. So some folks want to see it kick the tires, and this Ace Hardware move that we're making is going to be great. They have 5,000 locations. We're not in that many yet, but we're approved for
Hmm.
that many. If
Hmm.
the independent owners so choose, we're in about 140 locations currently.
Yeah. Well, and that was what was kind of amazing to me is like you can go and put your hands on a Traeger, on a lot of different grills, but you can't really put your hands on a Recteq, at least in the first few years. Um, and it was baffling to me to see how quick you guys grew and the loyalty. And I was like, these guys are like ordering a grill from some dude in Augusta, and they've never seen this grill in person. They've never touched it. Like, those of us that grill on a regular basis, you can touch a grill, you can open the handle, open the lid on the grill, look at the interior parts, and you can kind of tell, what you're getting with what it is. It's, in your hand, it's tangible. But for you guys to build a grill company, I mean, it's almost like it was almost like a virtual grill company that you were
Sure.
building with your footprint online and all. And it was just fascinating to me to see you guys build what you've built without folks being able to put their hands on it. I remember in the early days, so folks would be in a little group and be like, I'm considering a rec tech, but I've never seen one in person. And uh, your people that are, excuse me, your your customers that already owned one basically like turned their home into a showroom. Like, yeah, come by the house and lift the lid on it, and I'll show
Yeah.
you.
Yeah, I was
I'll
going to
show.
say that is so until just recently we were just direct to consumer,
Yeah,
and I was going to say if it wasn't for the fans, their reviews, and them urging people say, hey, you won't be sorry. Also, of course, we did a lot of videos, but our fans really made people comfortable with pulling that trigger and
yeah,
taking a little risk on us, and then the reviews out there. We averaged 4.7-star reviews, and which is just unheard of. The reviews out there gave people the confidence to take a chance
hmm
and pull the trigger. So again, that just goes to those amazing fans that we have the best on the planet.
yeah. Well, and I was like, I don't ever, because like these folks are like, yeah, just come by the house and lift the lid. Like literally, I've got a neighbor of mine that came by my house, lifted the lid, and now he's got a grill.
Yeah,
And
we had.
I'm like,
That used to amaze me too. I would follow those chats. I spend a lot of time in the woods hunting, and I entertain myself by reading the barbecue chats. And I would see that our customers would do exactly what you said.
yeah,
Invite somebody over, say, "Hey, I live in Cincinnati, come by." And damn if they didn't go by their house and have a cold beer and lift the lid on the grill and place an order. So I got to give a shout out to all the customers and thank them again for all their help.
yeah. Well, and it was interesting to me whenever I first heard whisperings of going to an Ace Hardware, going to be able to get them in a retailer at all. And it was like Ace Hardware. I was like, well, I got to thinking, well, my Ace Hardware here locally, they're independently owned, and you know, you're going to have that almost that same kind of concept because it's a neighborhood store. And I was like, I think this is going to be a bold move to go from being direct to consumer to being able to put your hands on it. Um, I mean, you guys are
Well,
building one specifically for them.
yeah, and the good news is nothing changes with our customer service. So if the
Yeah.
customer wants to call us, if they ever need a part or anything like that, or a question on, you would be surprised how many calls we get on just cooking a brisket. And
hmm
our customer service center, everybody in there, it's American based. Everybody answers the phone actually owns a Recteq. So,
hmm
so when they call, they get this world-class customer service with somebody that can really relate to grilling because
Yeah.
on the weekends they're living the Recteq lifestyle. And it just enhances their customer service experience because now they have a local, independently owned store that's bringing money to their local economy. And they
hmm
are known for, and everybody we've met at Ace has just been that, that salt of the earth type people that have
Yeah.
really are going to help their customers and go the extra yard. Most aces actually will take the Recteq and assemble it and deliver it to their home. So
hmm
they're actually getting another level of customer service that they can get at Ace. So we're excited about the partnership, and I don't think we could have picked a better company to partner align ourselves with.
Yeah. I mean, I definitely do. I agree. But like I said, I was like, I'm almost like hesitant. I'm like, but 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 I was the showroom. Remember when I used to be the showroom, and now there's formal showrooms
If I
with
could
Ace
ask a
Hardware.
favor, if you don't mind, since we're on here, if Recteq is not at your local Ace, reach out to that manager or store owner. We are in their I can't remember the word they use it, but we're in their system. The
Yeah.
word will pop in my head in a second, but we're in their system so they can order Rectex right now. So just encourage them to carry us and see what happens. So we're
Yeah.
giving Ace themselves that old school customer service and really rolling out the red carpet for them as well. So if you want to
Yeah.
see us in your local store, make sure that they're aware that they can now carry Recteq.
Yeah. Well, we actually we just got new owners of our local Ace Hardware, and so we're I'm in the process of trying to figure out who these new folks are. 'Cause I knew the old folks that owned it before they sold it. Um, but I'm currently on the hunt to get a showroom near me.
There you go.
So. One second.
Okay.
So we've got the new grills, and I'm kind of glad we kind of circled back to the Ace Hardware. It's a kind of uh, skipped right over it there, but you guys are growing. Do you anticipate this doubling what you guys do? I mean, catapulting you guys to. I mean, I'm sure you probably keep an eye on numbers of, who's the biggest pellet cooker company out there. Do you guys think this puts you at the top of the mountain, or is there something else in Ray's pocket that is going to put him another level up?
Well, this is going to get us closer for sure. You know, there's that monster out there. They've been around a long time, but we're catching up and we're nipping at their heels and hopefully catch them. I mean, it's just, you know, what's interesting. We have that competitor in our showroom sitting beside a Recteq. And that way
Hmm.
people can lift the lid and kick the tires on the competition. And it's funny because they lift the lid and look at it and kind of chuckle and never glance back. It's over with. When you see a Recteq compared to the competition, there is no comparison. It's a superior
Yeah.
product. And the toughest part, because we've always been direct to consumer, is just getting the word out there and to everyone. So the people in the know and do their research, they always end up back Recteq. But to answer your question, I sure hope this brings us to the next level. They, like I said, they have
Hmm.
5,000 locations, and you know, I want to be in. You know, if I could wave a magic wand, of course, I'd love to be in all of them. But we're growing, and we're going to continue this world-class customer service and staying true to our roots and treating our customers and our distributors, which is going to be Ace. And we also are going to do Shields, which they have 30 locations out west. I don't know if you're familiar with them. Kind
Hmm.
of like a Bass Pro Shop. They
Yeah.
actually are going to carry Recteq as well. They have a massive grilling section.
Okay. Cool. So there's a couple of different options coming to a town near you. Um, so it's my we'll kind of wrap up here. This is kind of a personal thing for me. I do the Smoke Ring Syndicate. It's about the barbecue lifestyle, and that was kind of that concept kind of came to me just seeing the Recteq lifestyle, and I was like, it's a grill company, but it's almost like a lifestyle brand. Um, is that something that you were like, you know what, I'm going to build a lifestyle brand, or did it kind of just evolve and turn into a almost a lifestyle brand?
So right away, I knew that we were going to say there.
Can't hear you. I can't hear you. This is the benefit of listening to us live is sometimes we have audio video issues. I'm wondering if it's go out.
Are you
There
there?
you go. Go out. There you go. I can hear you.
I tried to turn off my calls before this, and I couldn't figure it out. So I
Uh,
apologize. So circling back to your question, originally right out of the gate, I wanted to make it a lifestyle brand
mhm,
because I thought about growing up, and if you think about memories you have growing up,
mhm,
and the best memories you have, whether you were at the beach or the lake, or people were over and you had company over, or you were at somebody's 4th of July party, there's always a grill nearby. And that goes to your point about the barbecue lifestyle. And so I just knew that, those smells and those memories don't go away that you make
mhm,
around the grill, and the talks and the chats you have with family and friends around the grill, and getting to be the hero to take that creation you made off the grill or that turkey off the grill and set it on the table for Thanksgiving. So
mhm,
it really is a lifestyle and about making memories with your family and grilling. I'm passionate about it because of those things, because it brings you closer to friends and family. And so that's where that evolved from immediately, was that it's going to be that Recteq lifestyle. It had a nice
mhm,
ring to it as well, the Recteq lifestyle. And nowadays everybody's saying lifestyle, but we coined that phrase when when it wasn't cool to say, and everybody it wasn't saying it back in
Yeah.
'09. So the Recteq lifestyle is important. It's real. People that get it are passionate about it, and they're on the weekends they're living it and making memories.
Yeah, absolutely. Um, Recteq Lifestyle.
Yep.
Ray, I've thoroughly enjoyed it. This was substantially better than the first time we did this. Those that watched this on the back end saw the audio issues that we experienced last time. This was a pretty clear. Only a couple of minor interruptions. I had a couple phone calls, and I think I had more phone calls than you did this time.
I had two, man.
I had three. Um, but thank you for your time. Man, I got to get out there and I've got to see the Smokestone in person. Um, I, I feel like a dual fire may follow me home. But I mean, you got to find new homes for grills, right?
Yeah, yeah. You'll love them both. They both turned out amazing, and we really go through a thorough testing process to make sure that they are ready for your back porch, man.
Awesome. Awesome, man. Well, I appreciate your time and we will catch you next time, man.
All right, man. Thanks so much for having me, and I look forward to seeing you again. And hopefully, shoot me a text when you come to get that dual fire.
Absolutely, man. You guys can find this Recteq grill online, recteq.com for yours. Guys, if you've enjoyed this week's episode, we would appreciate a review, a like, a share. If you found value in this episode, we would appreciate you sharing it with a friend or family. And as always, keep smoking.